Morning folks, welcome back to Delboy's Garage. Garage, not laundry room or video log. Now what we're doing today is just going to catch up a little bit, put something back in the garage. So to make mention, I've had a few criticisms of the FRO logs and the fact that we're not doing much in the garage. Well, we do, it's just that it's this time of year. We don't do these for a TV show or anything. It's honestly, we just film our shit and we just put it up. It's as simple as that. And all I want to do today is add a video to 3 others that have been getting a massive resurgence of hits. I've been getting loads of comments on, all of a sudden I just noticed it, comment after comment coming in on 3 particular videos. One was the video on how to clean your calipers, take them out, pads out, toothbrush, clean, remember that one? And the other one was part 1 and 2 of stripping the caliper actually apart, putting new seals in, putting new pistons, cleaning them all up, put it and making them perfect. Now that, in that sense, they're great and they're getting loads of hits. And I want to add a 3rd one, or a sort of 4th if you like, part 1 and 2. And I want to put something in place, some housekeeping for the future. If you've gone to the trouble, as you're coming to your bike and you're finding that your wheels are a bit seized up after 3 months sat in the garage over the winter, you need to re-clean your calipers, you've put the work together. I'm getting a huge amount of comments, and if you've done yours, you'll know what I'm talking about. You've just put the time and effort into going and getting the parts, the seals, the brake fluid, you've ripped them all apart, you put them together, only to think, as we all do when you've done a big job, oh, I just don't want the bike to get wet now because I don't want them to gum up again with salt and brake dust. Well, there is a way to avoid it. So this video is going to be a very quick how-to on housekeeping. No tools, no bench, no workshop, it's just going to be cleaning. And this is a way that I clean my brakes. Very simple, I want to show you, because I've done some rides in the rain and my brakes on the front have started to salt up, which is pretty classic. And I do rinse the bike off when I come home, but now and again it just gets too much. Easiest way to explain it is this: you ride in the rain, it's salty on the roads because it's extremely cold at the moment. There's more salt on the road than there has ever been. I've never seen so much. There's piles of orange sand in the curbs, it's really bad. It's going to get warm this weekend, it's going to salt up again, it's going to activate all that dusty salt, and we're going to be riding along in brine slurry again. Now that's great, you can just rinse it off, but sometimes there's a problem. You come home, it's bike's wet, we've all know this little housekeeping trick, you keep a hose pipe, you pull the bike up outside your garage and you hose off the brakes. But there is a slight thing that's going to stop that being the only maintenance you need, and that is the salt that's crystallised. Ever so simple, you put the brakes on, you've got this brine all inside your calipers as you're riding along. When you put the brakes on, you get that heat, that friction from the pads, that evaporates the water, it dries the water out of the calipers as you're riding along, and therefore the salt content in that solution, instead of being a liquid solution, it crystallises. And what you start getting is white salt crust round the gum line of those pistons, and that stops them coming in and out, and that's where the problems start. Plus you get the brake dust as well, so we need water to dissolve it, hot water, because although salt dissolves in water, it dissolves a lot quicker and better in hot water. And finally you need some soap to get that brake dust dissolved. And I'm going to show you very quickly, so stick around, stay tuned. This is a way to keep that expensive, time-consuming job you did on keeping your calipers and rebuilding them back to perfect. It will keep that tip-top so that they won't need doing again. And believe me, bless you. Believe me, sorry. When you do that job, you don't want to be doing it again. I don't rebuild my calipers unless it's a bike someone else has had before me. When I've ridden a bike and I've rebuilt calipers, I can ride for 3 or 4 years on them before I need to do them again, and that's all because of the housekeeping and the regime. So stick around, stay tuned, I'll show you what we do. Yep. Right, now this is it. This is what we end up with. You hear that? That's where the calipers are starting to salt up. I'm getting a little bit of friction there, not much, but it's building up already. These were absolutely free running just a few weeks ago. So the kit list for the job: bucket of soapy water, hot, grandma's old kitchen brush, scotch, and a hose pipe. Ever so simple. So the first part of the equation, just going to get this, just rinse out the worst. Calipers there, they're going to come in the top, just rinse it out. Up inside there, not too much pressure, because obviously too much pressure you're going to force water into the pads or into the seals. Right, so that's just rinsed off the worst, and now just loads and loads of soap. And the idea is get lots of soapy water, suds, in up there and carry it, spin the wheel round so you carry the soap into the caliper. And the great thing with these brushes, because you've got the sides on them, get up the inside as well. So that's the idea. You're just pushing this soap up inside the caliper. Oops. And then, as easy as it looks, get it all up in there and carry it round. Then, scotch on the disc face. These are only gentle, they're only made of plastic. On the disc face, all the way round. It gets all the rust and crap off, all that hard build up. Because remember, you're riding along. Any solutions, any brake dust, any salt, anything like that, when you're riding along, the water, the heat dries the water away. So it recrystallizes whatever chemicals are there, and then they stick all inside here. And this just gets them all freed up. So that's, you can now feel that's actually getting worse. And what that is where you've wetted all that salt content which was bone dry and brake dust, and effectively it started to expand and swell like a porridgey stodge. So we've released it, we've set it free, we've allowed it to be rinsed out. So the next task is get it rinsed out properly. Right in there, so just right in the top of the caliper. Right inside. And then actually try and get some aim inside the other caliper. And there we are. Check that out. Almost gone completely. Now, with a little bit more effort, with just a little bit more time, that will be completely free running. There you go. So that's what you've got to do. Loads of soapy water, which will help to release and set free that salt. It dissolves it because it is effectively a solution once you get it all wetted with nice hot water. And the brake disc itself, you get all the salt out of the grooves. And there's grit as well. You ever ride your bike along or you push your bike along and you get that scratching noise that is grit between the disc face and the pad. The worst thing with that is that when you put the brake in, you insert those pieces of grit into the face of the pad and they stay there, and then they proceed to scratch the disc face, and the disc wears quicker, which is an expensive thing on a bike. They're not like cars at 30 quid each. A disc for a bike is £300-400 a pair. So you need to take care of them. So there you go. It's actually getting better. Just dry them off with the brake itself. There we go. Simple as that. So keep that housekeeping going. Every time you come home from a ride, keep one of these ready, just so you, sorry, did you get that? I just spurted in your general direction. Keep one of these ready so you can just jet it in there when you come home. But there will also be, like I said, a little bit of it that crystallizes when you're riding along. There's nothing you can do about that. Hot water dissolves those crystals. The soap washes the brake dust off. Get it all in there. Get it in the top nice and close. And the most important thing, I want to put a word of warning, or a word of warning. It's easy for you to say. A word of warning at the end, very simple. Don't ever, please, be tempted to get your pressure washer out. It won't make the job any better. You're not using pressure to get this crap out of the brake calipers. You're using chemicals and a little bit of simple chemistry, using the heat and the water and dissolving it. You start putting a pressure washer in there, you're forcing water in, and it can go behind the seals and contaminate your brakes, and you can cause a problem. Remember, folks, this is brakes. There's nothing more important on your bike than your brakes. Make sure you don't ever use your pressure washer. Just a simple hose with enough pressure, just like that. You can put your finger in front of it and it's no worries, and that's all you need to do, is just get it in there and rinse them all free. And I'm just going to carry on rinsing these off, get every little bit out so they're absolutely clear. There you go. Thanks for tuning in to Delboy's Garage. A little bit of housekeeping for you, nothing serious. Ride safe. I think spring is actually here. See you next time.